All right, all you crazy monkeys out there, first things first, go ahead and slap a retweet on this. If you own some Eagle right now and you're about to watch price go absolutely bananas. And that leads us into this video here. So I have reasons that I analyze the Bitcoin chart with Elrond, but what I think we're about to see here, just to touch on the USD, look at this area of accumulation that happened there. That should hold as support anytime that there's a little bit of congestion. That's going to serve as an area of supply and demand, of course, if price goes higher than that. So, kind of zooming in on this was an area that was established at a low between mid-May 2021 to early August. And from there, this area down here, this all is correlated with the price of Bitcoin. This was all during the time that also too Bitcoin was testing its support there at 20, I'm sorry, at 30,000. So, all this market is correlated. Nonetheless, it's really cool to take a look at on longer time frames, which I've got up here now. These are candles are 2 weeks, so every bar you see here encompasses 2 weeks of data. Which the reason I like to go on larger time frames, sometimes you'll see me even do a month or 3 month. So basically, the larger the time frame, the larger the collection of data, the higher probability it is that it is accurate because it's capturing data from a longer period of time. It's capturing larger chunks of sentiment. So you can go down to 1 hour charts and you can analyze that, and you can spend a lot of time going lower and lower. But another phrase, or rather another reason behind the phrase, don't lose the forest from the trees, is, on higher time frames, like, there's something much more larger, good English, going on here. But yeah, so I've posted for a little bit now. um what I believe is just an objective upward channel. I think it's pretty irrefutable. But what's really great is the fact that, sorry, I'm looking for a flipping tweet. Oh, nice. NFTs, hashtag art. um Friggin' A, I'm looking for, and I'm sorry, because again, I can't, oh, it was before that. I cannot go back and re-edit this, so you just get everything. Get used to it. Okay, so if you did not see this post on Twitter, I would recommend checking it out. It's obviously a biased statement, but like, people definitely seem to like it. And I always start these threads with just like one single tweet, and then I'm like, damn, like I need to say much more. I need to add much more to the conversation, and then I start going into all of these different time frames. And so sometimes analyses are short, sometimes they're long, but I don't know. This one got. I mean, I enjoyed putting it together, with the gifs. I almost called them memes. They are memes, but you get it. But yeah, like I think that it tells a really good story. I won't read it for you. I'll put it in the comments below for you to check out, because it talks a lot, just as the title says here, an in-depth, fundamental, psychological, and technical analysis by the economistic. Quite the extravagant title there, but honestly, I know that people read titles, but I don't know how much they really read into them. Nonetheless, I have fun with all of it, and I hope that if you're listening, you're having fun with me. Which I'll just go ahead and plug the channel to a podcast, Elrond. Really appreciate the support. I've got Alec Madrigal pumping out some content coming at you pretty soon here, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, get involved on Twitter. But yeah, this is the attempt of the shortest little deep dive. Hopefully this isn't hopefully this is kind of a shallow dive. I just lose track of time so quickly, so I'm trying to kind of speed up my just the pace in general, because I want to focus us back on the freaking point here. What is that? That price is about to go freaking bananas. Like, I know that I am always bullish for the most part, and if you just wanna call me a perma bull, I'm kind of okay with that. I really kind of am. I think that there is just fundamental backing between or, fundamental backing with the element of supply and demand to where over time, these scarce resources, just like gold, are going to be demanded at a higher level by more people. So it's just inevitable to me. I mean, it literally is inevitable, and that's like low key why I feel like this is all like illegal and it's all just like a cheat code because it's just like what the hell? Like they literally so things that helped establish value in the past, gold. I'll just begin and end with there because gold moved to fiat currency. Originally, it was backed up with gold, but no longer. So, what made gold valuable? People say that, oh, gold is valuable because you wear it as jewelry. No, wearing gold as jewelry was literally flaunting your wealth. It wasn't the, I mean, yes, the jewelry has blossomed into an industry of its own, but people wore their gold because it was a show of wealth. So it's not these days. Oh, the point of gold, the value of gold is you make jewelry out of it. I hear people saying that, and there is a lot of truth to it. But the fundamental value of gold is literally getting chewed away because cryptocurrencies have come along, and whereas gold is a relatively a fixed supply, obviously, I say relatively because we're talking about grams and ounces and pounds and tons of this material that has been harvested from the earth and so forth. So relatively speaking, the supply is capped, but yes, gold is still being mined and added to supply. So also too, there's discussion about, oh, maybe there's more gold on another planet if we mine it, blah blah blah. The point is that gold is one of the more scarce resources, but the supply is technically increasing, and that's just something to consider because again, we're talking about where our money was found, where the basis of value is, and it's really, I mean, it just has to do with scarcity. And when you're buying a scarce resource, it becomes a question of if that resource, if that thing, the noun is worth something. And if it is, then it's going to, I mean, the hypothesis is that it will continue to rise in value because that's basic I don't know, I guess it is microeconomics, is equilibrium price. Obviously, that's involved in macro, but I first learned it in microeconomics. Just the equilibrium price is a simple XY graph of supply and demand, where if something is demanded in a higher quantity at a higher rate, then it can be supplied to the market. It's going to increase the equilibrium price. And there's much more we could get into. I love micro. That was micro penis. Microeconomics it was because of the teacher I had in that class that made it my favorite class. But microeconomics was one of my favorite, if not my favorite class that I took in college. That's kind of an overstatement, I realize. So you get the point. Let's look at this. Let's get into the freaking chart rather than just hear me talk about bullshit. So I'm bringing this down to smaller time frames. And what's evident to me, I already showed you some of the levels on the USD chart, but I want to focus the analysis now on the Bitcoin chart because US dollar is a chart of its own. I won't get into why, the specifics, because again, this is supposed to be a shallow dive rather than a deep dive, because I just want to emphasis. I want to emphasize, damn it, that I really think price is about to go bananas. And I mean, let's just break it down really quickly. I'll come over here, add my MACD, moving average convergence divergence. One of my favorite charts that I feel is underrated. People really like the RSI, but to me the RSI is really just an indicator of yes or no, are we bullish or bearish? But people have definitely taken that indicator to represent oversold, undersold. there's a much deeper understanding to the relative strength index, the RSI, than just oversold, undersold, comparing values. What I like about the MACD is all of the different elements there are to look at and how it's represented visually. Because again, all of these indicators, whether it's volume, average volume, or price included with all of that, these are all indicators, and the MACD is called an indicator. And it's really just backed from data, backed from numbers, sheets and sheets of numbers of moving averages. That's what these two lines are. And as they get closer together or spread farther apart, that is what will govern whether or not these bars are coming up or down, or if they are, whenever they're really close together, that means that you're having a cross here. So basically, the idea of the MACD is that it just kind of communicates, I mean, the sentiment of the market. Um, it just can indicate for you whenever essentially price is coming from, speaking on the microeconomic point, the MACD shows us quite tangibly where equilibrium price is being found at that given moment. So the trick with the MACD is that over time, these lines, will come closer and closer to the origin. Whereas, of course, this is just a downtrend. So MACD is certainly not an indicator of when, or rather, which direction price is going to go. To me, I got criticized for this, but to me, the MACD is a momentum indicator, and that's how I read it. I'm not really sure why somebody felt like telling me that they didn't like the way that I describe the MACD. So, aside from all that, I really like to look at the MACD on larger time frames. I believe I talked about it in the last deep dive episode 2. Thanks for the love on that. Clearly, you guys are interested in this content, so I'll try to do it justice. Let me know in the comments why you watch the deep dives, what you like about them. If you like whenever we do charts, if you like when I rant about random bullshit, if you like when I cuss and get unnecessarily angry because markets are stupid and people are ignorant, blah, blah, blah. Let me know in the freaking comments, you freaking monkey heads. So anyway, the MECD, I like it. And a few days ago, this crossed bullish, which is again an indicator that at that current point, price has come to equilibrium. That is an indication that price is coming to a agreed upon price. So what is crazy about that is really just I talk hugely about it in that post that I made a few days ago. I talk about it hugely in this post, to where freaking I always get confused whenever I bring up other pages. I lose my freaking train of thought. So go read that post. Obviously, there is knowledge in there that I wanted to get into, but it's probably good that I didn't, because yet another tangent. But again, this is a shallow dive. So let's get into it. Reminding myself once again the point of the video, which is that price is about to go bananas. How many times have I said that? I just, as I talk, I just have more things that I feel like deserve to be explained, and it's very difficult for me to just jump over something whenever I realize that there are packets of information to uncover. So thank you for bearing with me, everybody. Thank you. Anyway, so look at this. I mean, that's why I brought up the MACD. Back on track. Just look how look at this. Look at this point. This is now 2 week time frame, and on the 2 week time frame, this has historically been the harshest downtrend that Elrond has ever seen. Look at that increase. So here's what's crazy is, bringing it back down to the weekly. Actually, I'll do the 3 day since it's more evident there. But you can see here that again, even on the 3 day, this MACD is telling us that the momentum, the overall power of this particular downtrend was the strongest that we've ever seen. Not only was it strongest from an order of magnitude, but by frequency as well. Whereas you can see back here, this was one solid I mean, look how fluid that MACD shows us the momentum transition from bearish to bullish. This was one solid downtrend. We got two impulsive moves, one, two, and that took us up and out. Again, I talk about in the first deep dives video, maybe. I can't remember which one, but there was a lot of disbelief in this area. But back on the MACD, the second one brought us to what was back then, I think, about $340. So these were two massive moves, the biggest moves that, again, Elrond had seen at that time. And from there, we have seen a very steady area of accumulation. And this was the first test of all-time highs. This was the second, or rather the first retest of price, coming down from here, breaking out into all-time highs, and then retesting this area. A lot of the time, it's healthy, and we like to see the price come down and retest this area for which accumulation occurred. And I'll take a moment here to talk about how sometimes I even like to look at these scales without the wick, because over larger time frames, or not on any time frame, the wick can really be considered just as outlier data. So it also gives you an opportunity to see things a little bit more clearly if you can take those wicks away. The idea with analysis, technical analysis, for me, is the bigger, the bolder brush you can use, the better. So don't get down to the 1 minute scales and use a razor blade to draw different trend lines. Go big and go bold. Large time frames with huge markers. I mean, for God's sake, like, if there was a bigger marker here, I'd use it. But you get the point, hopefully. And it's all about averages. It's all about creating ideas, formulating hypotheses about where you think price is trending. And if you can confirm, yes, I believe, I won't just stick to bullish or bearish. If you develop a hypothesis that price is going up or down, once you come to that hypothesis, the next step is why. It's not just, oh, because the chart says so. It's not just, oh, look at the chart. It's all a matter of whether or not. Oh my God. Oh shit. I thought I wasn't recording. I think I'm recording audio. I forgot that I was doing, oh my God. But that's a song I was making. I swear to God, you just witnessed me shit my pants because I thought that I wasn't recording. The audio, that is. That would have been so sad. Such a waste of breath. And all that information would have gone on empty ears. So anyway, look at this. The wicks are now away, and I'm just gonna draw a rectangle here just because it really illustrates. And I'm even gonna I'm gonna cut off that wick down there. I'm not cutting off the wick at that point. At that point, I'm obviously cutting off the candle. And the reason for that is because on higher time frames, I'm sure that is a wick. Yeah. So on 2 weeks, let's just leave it there then. We'll start at the 2 week, and then we'll go down to smaller time frames, because this was an area of accumulation. And now bringing up a smaller time frame and a different tool. Now that we've established that nice solid range, that nice rectangle of accumulation, and remind again, where did this accumulation happen? This accumulation happened at after the biggest run up, the strongest bull move that Elrond ever had. And when was this? About a year ago. So yeah, after that, price actually went on with the US dollar to make a new all-time high there. But again, that gets into the Bitcoin USD chart, and then also to the eGold USD chart. Point is, another all-time high was made against US dollar whenever price went up there. So it was really great to see, and it's even relevant now because, again, the story, the emphasis is that we are bullish. The chart is showing it, and the value proposition, the fundamental value of Elrond Network and what they're doing continues to become greater and greater. So this is an emphasis right now just on charts. So came down here. The fact that it went on to make a new all-time high here, and did not break down and retest any of these, any of the prior run-up. I mean, that just quite goes to show that this entire bull move here is validated, and not just validated, but the way, the shape, the structure of this, in that it's a rectangle that moves sideways rather than maybe creating a bull flag, which with US dollar, would not have competed as well as it did. So it traded sideways. People were accumulating here. This is sideways. Accumulation happens sideways, and a different form of accumulation occurs whenever price is forming what we call a bull flag. So bull flags can kind of go down as far as they want to. It's just a matter of how many resources the sellers have, which just really just goes back into the whole conversation of supply and demand. And if there's simply just strong demand, then it's going to shape the structure of corrections. So this was really just a big washout there, another big washout there, which we went through earlier. And from there, price entered price discovery at the top there. And this was a very long, dull move here. And it was not very exciting. It was kind of a questionable moment for Bitcoin, and it was a questionable moment for the whole market, including Elrond, of course. But price just shrugged down steadily. We've talked about this area in previous videos. The point of mentioning in this video is that this testing up and down, it's healthy to see price moving volatility uh, like that, because that really just goes to show that there is a lot of swapping of hands. There's a lot of uncertainty with regard to coming to understanding on what the price is, which is in general, I mean, when the overall hypothesis is bullish, we can look back in time and we can confirm that, okay, that's positive data. The emphasis is that this range that tested so well supply and demand, with the way that it moved about up and down, tested sorry, tested this area, this whole rectangle that we just talked about. So that whole rectangle there was tested by this downtrend, and at that point, it obviously moved on, which confirmed this area of accumulation. But this basically, the fact that this went on to make a higher high here, it really just goes to show that those who accumulated in this area were able to buy enough Elrond to so that people demanding price, I guess, sellers could demand a higher price. um but yeah, I just think that it's pretty evident here that price is bullish. There's an uptrend. There's a lot of positive fundamentals. But I just want to emphasize that I really think that just the shape of this recent correction, there's some, I don't know if it's technical. We could look it up, but it's called VU. VU. It's like a type of recovery, and it's in a longer list of different kind of shapes of recovery and reversal. Like there's a diamond bottom, we have the inverse head and shoulders, and this one is kind of a VU pattern. Whereas envisioning the V for volatile, that's not what it stands for really, but it works. But the V is final capitulation. And from there, you have your V, which is final capitulation, and then the U is a much steadier move. It's a much more balanced transition from sellers selling to now demanders demanding. You get the point, and I know that I'm always, I'm a perma bull, but I mean, just it really quite astonishes me whenever I look at the way that price moved. Just, oh my gosh, just how much it dumped. I mean, I don't like to use such poor vernacular. See how I said vernacular instead of vocabulary, because I wanted to sound really and fuck intelligent. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, yeah. So like, it just blows my mind how much sellers were able to push price down. I mean, obviously, if you've been in the market, you know that price went as low as, what does this say? What does this say? $112.39, which I'll get back into that for a second here. There's kind of a diamond bottom shape pattern there, just for the record. But yeah, I mean, for goodness sake, 550 to 112. That was a clear retest of this breakout, which, like I said earlier on the Bitcoin chart, this is that sideways rectangle that I basically outlined, and this is where price went on to make a higher high, just ever so slightly. It went on to make a higher high there, and then it broke here a previously established area of of support at $130. So it bounced to all-time high of around, oh, it was 230. I misspoke earlier. So 230 up here, and then it broke down, created a area of support, went on to make a higher high. So this has established an area of support, and from here it retested, broke this retest, and see that? I mean, I called it a diamond bottom, but you could also kind of call it. I mean, that looks more uh, inverse head and shoulders. But yeah. So this area of support broke bearish, which now means that this carrying on is now an area of resistance. So what happened down in this area? We had a lot of trading of hands, and we had a bottom at, this is the USD chart again, bottom. I'm looking in the wrong place. $52. And from there, it began its journey up. And it has not stopped. It did not stop until $500. And that is a significant move. And from there, for the first time, emphasis, for the very first time, it is retesting. I mean, for God's sake, everybody, like, this is not so much a retest as much as this was accumulation in the middle of an uptrend. And we know that this went on to retest at $260, pumped for the ride listing, and then now dumped. Elrond is a pump and dump. It's a scam. Hell no, it pumps and it dumps. And I believe I was looking at this earlier, and this, it looks like now the MACD is showing us a change in momentum for Elrond USD. As you can see, that dark red has been replaced by a lighter red, pink, whatever you want to call it. Bullish indicator telling us that on a weekly time frame, this momentum is shifting, which again goes back to that emphasis that I made at the beginning of the video. Like, retweet if you own some e-gold and you're about to watch price go bananas. Because, like, literally, like, I've said it many times, but I think that finally, this is it. This low, like, literally, if you're watching this, if you got in, congrats, because I really genuinely believe that this is it. This is the bottom of all bottoms. This is the final bottom before Elrond really starts to get the attention it deserves. Like, literally, what the heck, guys? Like, there isn't any other, as far as I know, freaking tell me in the comments, there isn't any other project, blockchain layer one solution doing what Elrond is doing, and it is a $150 coin. I'll just leave it at that. Tell me in the comments if I'm missing some project. You have ADA, which apparently can't deliver. We have Sol, which, I mean, there's just so much FUD about it, and also the network objectively just, like, goes down. Like, it's just clear that Solana was rushed to the market and was not ready. Yet people are gonna freaking hold on to it till who knows how long. I mean, maybe they'll find solutions. Maybe it'll be one of those $1 trillion market cap projects, like Benjamin mentions in the London Real interview. He believes that there are going to be several $1 trillion projects in the upcoming industry as it blossoms onward and upward. So back to the chart. So yeah, this was the very final retest, and I believe it was just retesting that area. And I don't look at USD charts because honestly, they're pretty freaking intimidating. Like, I don't really, because I could have, as price, increased like this. I mean, everybody on Twitter, or not everybody, but pretty much anybody on Twitter who's relevant is posting charts against the US dollar because that's what people really kind of care about. So I'm definitely a little bit different in that I analyze the Bitcoin chart. Sorry, not the Bitcoin chart, but the Eagle Bitcoin chart. But again, to me, it helps me to establish more realistic expectations, because if I look at the Elrond USD chart and people say, "Oh, what do you think of this? What do you think of that?" It's like, yo, like you don't want to hear like the worst case scenario, because in the world of cryptocurrency, anything is possible. Excuse me. And in a world where anything is possible, you don't want to talk about what's possible to the downside. You want to talk about what's possible to the upside. But if you've been following along and if you've read my tweets, you know that I am not one to try to predict price, because it's really just a shot in the dark, and it's just looking it's like looking at a crystal ball. I mean, it's literally like looking at a crystal ball and imagining, ooh, conjuring up where might price go. Ooh, like envision the whole scene. You got the tent in the desert, you walk in, smoke kind of pours out. It's rather mystic, rather economistic. Anyway, thanks for bearing along with this video. I'm having fun. I hope that if you're listening, you're having fun too, and you're not just like, bro, will this motherfucker, sorry for cussing, I almost hesitated there. Will he ever get to what I want to hear? Which is what the hell do you want to hear? Like, do you just want me to be a moon boy? Yeah, look at these bottoms, and look, I have a crystal ball, and like truthfully, like price is probably gonna go to like $1 million, but I mean, who knows when? People have been talking about $1 million Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is objectively inferior to some projects out there. So to me, there is truly a better probability of a coin like Elrond that has such a small market cap. Sorry, not market cap. Yes, that's important too, but supply. The possible possible supply for excuse me, Elrond, is it 32 million, 31 million? I think it's pi 3.12. Market cap, bringing it up. I haven't gone anywhere, and I hope that neither have you. Also, fucking A, I mean, I should point out that Bitcoin is bullish. Like, come on. I love that Elrond is bullish, but y'all, like, this is the bottom. Like, I've said it in the past, but come on, like this is an ascending freaking triangle. And in the past, I mean, I know that there have been some ascending triangles, but the emphasis to me is how well established that triangle is, and especially how it tested. Like I said in an earlier video, I touched on one of my tweets, and I talk about how when price goes lower, it helps for new investors to dip their toes in because price is less intimidating. It also gives an opportunity for those who are in the space and believe in projects to increase their ownership of that asset. Hashtag accumulation, hashtag dollar cost average. So price going low sucks, but price going low is good. It's a trading of hands. It's a washing out of empty mercenary capital, whatever you want to call it, short-term sellers. I don't really know. You have people using leverage, so it's the Wild West. I said it before, I say it again. Hopefully this mofo doesn't just like dip real quick, because that's what sucks about cryptocurrency is like sometimes, if you've been in the market for a while, you've witnessed these. And this is why I'm always kind of like low key, like super cynical of like where price could go, because I can't tell you how many times I sat behind a computer screen watching price levels and waiting for it to break out, and wait out for it to finally do its thing, that I've been waiting for it to do. I mean, how many weeks and months and literally years did myself and others watch and kind of go through that grueling grind of false breakouts only to go lower? That entire trend established as soon as Bitcoin popped from 20,000 in 2017, and it went on like that for a year before it broke down to 3,000, and all the way up you're in disbelief, and then you got the huge COVID washout. And then so after all of that, Elrond launches, and I buy some super early on in a small quantity. I watch the price go up, I buy more, and then I watch the price go down for a long time. This is so pointless. What is the emphasis here? It's that I always have a heavy kind of dose of bearishness that I don't want to confront because it's just like, damn it. Like I don't I don't want to think about those times. And also too, when it comes to motivating a community to get excited about a project. I mean, come on now. What do you expect me to get like upset that I don't know what I was saying. You get the point. But yeah, like I think after this capitulation, I mean, there's data to back it up, but just fundamentally speaking, I feel like Bitcoin is certainly hitting its bottom. This whole area was accumulation that brought us to higher highs, and this retest has dipped significantly into that area, which the low it stamped 32,950. We'll call it $33,000. $33,000 until proven otherwise is the Bitcoin bottom. And I'll say it right now that we are going to 100,000 from here easily. Like, easily, we are going to 100K from this level. So, yes, fuck me. Price might go down and retest this level and continue to just beat us away. Who knows what the other cryptocurrencies will do if and when there is a flipping event. Eventually, Bitcoin price will be going down as other cryptocurrencies are appreciating in value, similar to looking at like the Hollow Ride and Eagle chart or the MEX token chart versus Elrond. We're not going to get into that now. This is supposed to be a shallow dive, and really, price is about to go bananas. I didn't say that yet, so I'm gonna say it for the first time of this video. Price is about to go bananas. We have a VU. We have price retesting. Let me go back to the USD, just so I can make everybody happy. Talking about the US dollar. So yeah, it was great. But think about how many freaking people were onboarded here. I mean, we could go back and look at the data, but damn it. People liked this, I think. Earlier, I went into this website and people liked it. I looked at the data. I analyzed the video. Growth.elrond.com. Check it out. Lots of useful information here. But let's bring it down. Let me see where are we at. Where are we at? This range. This bottom, we'll just call it the start of July. We'll call it the start of July into, of course, as we know, mid to late November when the DEX launched. So yes, we have a big increase in users right whenever the DEX launches. Really great to see that. But let's back it up. Where are we? Where are we? And some of this data is hard to see. Beginning of July. So here, what are we at? This is total users. Sorry if my voice is kind of fading there. We have total users, and we'll call it 650. And so the people at home can see 650K. Just leave it at 600. But you get the 650 to where are we at? Where are we at? We did break a milli. December 1st, 1,084,000. 1,084,000. Calculate. Come on. Users have increased by 183%, and price from that point increased to 550. So that is a positive. Sorry, recollecting myself. That is a positive correlation. But since then, the users have, stayed the same or increased. Obviously, some of them are going to leave, but the price has gone down. Sorry, I took a little rabbit trail. Check out this area of the user adoption chart. It's pretty cool. What's this actually? A lot of non-zero accounts are going down too. What's that? You see what I'm seeing there? That line is kind of dropping off. It happened here too. I'm not sure. I mean, we can look. It's non-zero, so the number of users. Non-zero is basically just an account that does not exist. Oh, damn. So what does that mean? It means that a lot of accounts. Look at this, guys. That's actually really cool. I'm gonna zoom in here. What's going on? Why is there a chunk there? That's kind of weird. What the hell? Now there's a chunk there too. Whatever. Like, here, maybe this is why this is not working. So, come on, computer. Dang it. I haven't fallen asleep. Not yet. Look at this. Okay, what is cool about this? So not only we're beginning to see, I mean, I know it's early, but look, we see a little tick up there. And look at this. This is what I find really intriguing. What does this mean? So this means that new accounts are being created, or rather, non accounts that have been increasing. So what is this saying that? Um, New accounts were created with zero balance and that's every account. So that hmm, I can't get into that. It's a little bit too late. Because I think there are a lot of implications here. And I think one of those is kind of what does this mean? This means that I mean, aside from the obvious that it means that non-zero accounts are going down, which means that the accounts in existence that had 0 Elrond in them now have Elrond in them. So Elrond is being purchased by accounts that have previously been inactive. And I think that has a lot to do with NFTs. I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to shill NFTs. What could this mean? Let me know in the comments because it's not the these just total accounts which were non-zero. They're not going I mean, look at this data that's being represented. They're not going from 0 to half of an Elrond. They're going to I mean, it is being represented mostly on that orange one. Okay, so a lot of people are creating accounts and getting more eagled. Let's see. Let's take some of these away. So sorry for this is kind of a mess. It's late for sure. Damn, what the frick? Whoa. What does this mean? Total users. Hmm. Seems like eagled is being spent. I don't know. Is that just all that means? Is that eagled is being spent? I'm so sorry, everybody. I put a lot of energy into the front of this video because I thought that it was going to be a shallow dive. Yet here we are. It's no longer shallow. This is certainly a deep dive. And I'm tired. I'll be honest. I'm flipping tired. Um Prices at 147. Uh Getting back into it. If you're still watching, God be with you. Um but yeah, so this channel here pushed to all-time highs, high 550 for the first time. Price is coming down to retest this area. So that should have been expected. I was trying to say that earlier. That really that should have been expected looking at the Bitcoin chart, but looking at the Elrond to US dollar, I don't look at that very often because sometimes it's very scary to be telling people at 360, oh yeah, we're gonna go to $100. Like nobody wants to hear that. Gosh, I have very long ways of saying things sometimes. So that's what we get when we get to do the deep dives. Welcome to the show, everybody. So yeah, I think that just I know I got into the MAC at some point. Yes, look at this. So look at this. Gosh, I see how I get lost. This was the strongest bearish move that Elrond has ever seen. Look at that. You were a part of it. Pat yourself on the back. You made it. We all made it, right? We all gonna make it, because as we saw on the U.S. dollar chart, that kind of the U.S. dollar chart kind of reflects what Bitcoin is doing too. So that's part of another reason I don't love to look at it, just because sometimes the Elrond chart is only moving because the Bitcoin chart is moving, yet Elrond paired with Bitcoin will be making small, insignificant moves. So I think that the Elrond chart's data is just more reliable because it does not include data from the Bitcoin to USD chart. So Eagle to Bitcoin cuts out US dollar. It's people trading Elrond for Bitcoin, and it's a different psychological idea. So I really think that this was just a retest. Looking at the Bitcoin chart now, I was okay with that. I kind of even predicted I won't go back, but I did predict a inverse Head and Shoulders that really did play out. I really can't believe that it did. I mean, I could go back in the tweets because I know that whenever this happened, this ride pump, I called this a freaking inverse Head and Shoulders. And how do you measure an inverse Head and Shoulders? So let's do it now. You can have fun putting the shoulders in the two drawings and making a funny face. But basically, the idea is that price from the top to where it breaks the neckline is going to drop, and that actually would have brought us to, I think, this level here. But since then, price has capitulated further. But that's the emphasis, is that we've been in just pure utter capitulation of the Maillard Dex launching, and the Maillard Dex offered so much supply through the rewards. So that's really what my hypothesis as to why the Elrond chart took such a fall back to $112 to retest that area on the US dollar chart. It's really crazy to see, but it just goes to show just how much Elrond was, how much value you want to call it, was kind of derived from the Meyer exchange. So pretty incredible to see that. But that's what happens whenever you have these are the repercussions of having the Maillard decks provide such incredible staking rewards. Is you're gonna be ready for added supply, added liquidity. This is just diluting the market, and thankfully over time those rewards, it's funny that I'm saying thankfully the liquidity decreased, but yeah, thankfully the liquidity has gone down, the dilution has gone down as those bootstrapping rewards have stepped down. Now we're past the final weeks of the step down of bootstrapping. So congratulations if you took advantage of that. There's still lots of lockmex to be earned, so go over to myr.exchange and get to farming. Um, but yeah, so that's one of the repercussions of something as great as the Maya exchange, is you're gonna have much more supply added to the market. Mercenary capital coming in and shitting on everybody. So that's really what led price to capitulate like this. Like, just so much supply. It's not so much so that people were selling so harshly, rather the market was just consuming the mass amounts of supply that were added in this area. And it just takes time to process that, for demand to come in and scoop up. It's got to come in and it's got to scoop. And that's why I talk about in previous videos and different posts on Twitter the importance of creating a bottom and building a foundation. It takes time, and it's something to be cherished, because as soon as it's gone, it's gone. You don't get to go back in time and buy at a lower price. So really all you can do is establish confirmation and why you think an asset is valuable. And from there, what can you do? You can um dollar cost average, you can dump all of it in. Whatever you do, you can support your position, you can support your brain, whatever your idea, looking at this asset and answering yes to the question, is it valuable? But yeah, so we're looking at the eagle to Bitcoin chart here. We got that mass capitulation, but guys, just think about it. Like, also to the NFT marketplace is perhaps contributing to people flipping Elrond, but I don't know. I think at this point, people are using NFTs to earn more Elrond. I'm not sure we have as many people coming in to flip NFTs on Elrond solely to liquidate. I'm not sure. The market is crazy. It's the Wild West. People are crazy. Monkeys going to bananas, rocket ship moon. So yeah, I really do believe that the price is about to go to the store to get some bananas. I was about to say moon, but that, I mean, guys, just bear with me here, okay? My brain is turned to mush here. I'm just speaking at a screen into a microphone, hoping that anybody is out there to listen to me. So, the point of this video is really just to say that price is about to go bananas, and I hope that somehow I communicated that message. I think that the capitulation, due to the insane reward potential for the Maya exchange, added to that steep drawdown in price. I think that in a different world, I think that price probably wouldn't have gone to 550, because this was just like, zzz, like damn, talk about freaking laser beam. That was people demanding Elrond so that they could buy mechs, so they could participate in the bootstrapping rewards. So, obviously, Mex has gone down in price against Elrond, and price of Elrond against Bitcoin has been going down. I mean, the whole market's been going down, and just, gosh, I mean, really, what is going on? Think of it outside the box of Elrond and the ecosystem, but just the entire market is observing what's out there, is taking a look at Bitcoin, taking a look at Ethereum, what's enticing, what's valuable to own right now. And I believe that people around the world are discovering and buying Elrond. I think more and more people, just as you and me and many others have already come to the conclusion of why this is a valuable asset to hold. And it's going to attract more people now, especially too with the NFT marketplace. Been trying to stay off of NFTs because it's just too damn easy. Like, for real, like, there's a reason that I didn't get into NFTs before, because using Ethereum, I just did not care to risk like making a mistake. I know myself well enough to know that I can make mistakes, and I've lost money, through scams. I've lost money through, just sending it. I don't know actually if that's it, but I've been scammed before. And, I'm sometimes a clumsy person, so I don't want to expose myself to too much risk if I don't feel that it's quite necessary. So, when it came to all of the loopholes to jump through to buy NFTs on Ethereum, sure, maybe I missed the big boat, but at that point, I was focused on finding valuable cryptocurrencies, and not so much, oh, what the heck is an NFT? I mean, I remember the first time I heard NFT, I was just like, man, I don't give a shit what that is. So I kind of missed the boat, maybe. But also too, and bringing it back around to Elrond, is that the Maiar exchange really just caused for an increase of the supply that led us to really retest intensely on the Bitcoin chart, retesting values from mid October. Um, but the fact is that this price has held up, and the biggest emphasis to me, I think, is that, um, more people are here. Price went lower, so people who are new to the space can really just accumulate more. I think this is really going to be a slingshot, whatever you want to call it. It's just what happens whenever people capitulate. They just dump, and the market consumes the price that people are willing to sell at in a positive direction. The demand will consume this much more heavily. So again, there are lots of reasons for to be happy whenever price goes down. It's not what we want to see, and it kind of sucks. Really, what really sucks is just kind of like the mid game of is it going to resume? Is it going to keep on pumping? And continually the market tells you no, it's not going to, and that sucks. That pushes a lot of people out of the markets, but that's why you're rewarded for staying in it and for being consistent. So again, congratulations to you. Price is at $147, $148 now. And I really just think that this is the beginning of a move that will take Elrond beyond $1,000 easily. So that's the closest you'll get to a price prediction, is that Elrond will pass $1,000. I don't know if I like timing it, because I mean my hypothesis is, bro, like,
people want Elrond. People are buying Elrond. So I'm not going to time it, but you know, just getting an idea based off of this logarithmic chart. I mean, like, even if we get like conservative here, like, even if this trend like kind of continues by, we'll just call it, what are we at? Oh shit, that's 150,000. But why not? We're looking at a $200,000 Elrond by October of 2024. So, how about that? That's my freaking price prediction. Stepping down from there just to see how this ages. October 2024, we're looking at perhaps a $200,000. Wait, what the hell is going on? Did something mess up? Okay, $200,000 from there, 46, 8,000. Yeah, I don't know. It actually kind of makes sense to me. I mean, wiggles and squiggles on shorter time frames are just kind of meaningless, but if something has established an uptrend, damn it. If something has established an uptrend so clearly, this is modest. This is quite modest. I will be honest, because if we're onboarding the next billion, if hypergrowth is a reality, like we're breaking up here, probably pushing 15,000. Like the top of this might be 15,000. We might drop down to retest 3K, and then push into 150,000. And that's in a year. That is February 2023. $150,000? That might be a little lofty, Steven, but I'll leave it at that. That's like hypergrowth. A 15, wait. $150,000 Elrond in a year. Gosh, that's very lofty, but that's what you get whenever you're watching however many minutes long into this video. Um, so I'll just end it here, that the bullish hypergrowth prediction for the economistic on January 31st, 2022 is from here, a low of $112 that could push us to 10,000. How about that? That sounds good. From here, we're going to 10,000. We come down and retest like 2,000 maybe, and then we're up from there. I mean, this is just so silly. I mean, it's just the proper way to end this video, because this video went from talking about being bananas to literally going bananas. So, I guess I did retweet it. So, does that make me a monkey? Are we all monkeys? Shit. I guess depending on what you believe, we are. Okay. Thanks for watching Deep Dives episode 3. This was definitely much more emphasized around charts rather than looking at, I really butchered the whole Elrond growth segment. So maybe I'll think more about that overnight, and talk about it on Twitter tomorrow. So go give a follow, go retweet if you're about to watch Elrond price go absolutely bananas. Let's go. Elrond, My Exchange, Moon, NFTs. Oh, fuck. I need to be careful not to talk about things that Alec and I will discuss in the main channel. So that's all for now. Thank you for watching. To the moon. Let's change the world. Peace.